There are some lies in our science books. Taught it for 15 years. Even though I'm not teaching it anymore, I still like to study. It's so many neat things to learn. We're going to cover some of that tonight.
Perception is being managed. We are being steered and guided by a hidden hand.
The whole world has been duped by the media that is not real.
Smart thinking, possible time traveler, smart thinking.
That night, boom, contact memory.
And then just, Alex, if you don't agree, you'll be sent to a re-education camp.
Just because I'm old doesn't mean I've lost my touch with the ladies.
A lot of people here tonight feel like they lost. You know why?
Now, experts are suggesting that we're in a golden age of shape-shifting reptilian sightings. Now, why is that?
I was, and still am, a huge conspiracy guy. I literally ran out of new tin hat topics to research.
It was most definitely not capable of melting steel.
Then I would be a crackpot if I thought that was the case.
Thought that was the case.
Welcome to the Hypothetical Institute, a podcast about conspiracies.
My name is Luke.
I'm Salty.
I'm Cam. How are we, gentlemen?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. Take two.
A little bit of deja voodoo.
A little bit of
deja voodoo.
Don't gaslight me by saying deja voodoo. Today we're going to be talking about gangstalking.
Are we not going to tell our listeners why this is deja vu?
And energy weapons.
We did post a whole lot of memes suggesting that we deleted the episode.
Yeah, but we have more listeners than we do Twitter followers.
Right. Yeah.
Today we're talking about gangstalking and energy weapons again, because somehow the last file got corrupted, almost as if our bloody gangstalk handlers didn't want that episode getting out into the world.
It was too hot.
Yeah, so they blasted our new flash Zoom recorder with a energy weapon.
Yep.
All gone. So, shall we talk about gangstalking again?
Let's do gangstalking. Do we want to first state what gangstalking is?
Sure. Gangstalking is when an individual is stalked by a gang.
Yeah. Nice one. What's the
end of episode? See, that's the thing. It didn't really matter that we lost the episode.
Yeah, it was because that was quite short. Anything else?
But not like a gang like, say, in the movie The Warriors.
Yeah.
Or a gang of motorcycle bandits.
Not like the T-Birds or the Pink Ladies.
Not like the T-Birds or the Pink Ladies. Two of the most fearsome gangs.
Yeah.
What is the gang that's stalking them?
It could be anybody. Gangstalking is the idea that people all around you are working together, conspiring, as it were, to drive you mad, to intimidate you, to essentially drive. The end game is to drive you to kill yourself, or to just either to make you kill yourself or to make you seem so crazy that anything that you have to say is instantly discredited.
Yeah. The other facet of it, because a lot of the people claiming gangstalking, which you'll get into later, are just regular Joe Schmoes. Yeah. So they think that it's not so much to kill themselves or to drive them crazy. Well, it is, I guess, to drive them crazy, but it's also a test. So they're kind of guinea pigs for when the New World Order has to gangstalk for proper.
I found on one of the many gangstalking websites on the internet, I found a description of the sort of people who might be gangstalkers.
Gangstalkers?
Yes. People from all walks of life are recruited for this.
Everyone.
Yeah, good description.
People from all...
Oh, sorry.
Hold your fire, son. People from all races, ages, genders, every sector of society that you can think of is a part of this, including, but not limited to, general labourers, the wealthy, bikers, drug dealers.
Wait, bikers meaning motorbikers, motorcyclists, or
just like people in Lycra?
Yeah.
Could be both.
Yeah.
Lycra wearers and 1%ers.
Yeah.
Drug dealers.
Yep.
Drug users.
Yep.
Street
Definitely.
people.
What's a street person?
Like a homeless man.
Oh, okay.
Punks.
Yep.
Oh. Hip hop culture. The sort of, I feel like that was a find and replace. KKK,
Yep.
black activists,
Oh.
church groups,
Yep.
youth groups, firemen, police officers, lawyers, healthcare workers, storekeepers, maids, janitors.
Isn't this a Richard Scarry book?
Cable installers, phone repair persons, male character, because a phone repair person could be a man or a woman.
Yep, no, good well.
But only men can be firemen.
Yeah. It's in the name.
Mail carriers, locksmiths, electricians, etc. There's really no minimum or maximum age range.
So, KKK members and black activists, all I see here is a harmonious organisation based around unity and all-inclusiveness. What's wrong with this?
Well, no, that's what the globalists want you to think. Because they want to. The globalist plan is to tear down borders and tear down what makes us unique. So they want KKK and black activists on the same side because something new world order.
They don't always know. These people, like, if there's some Klansman doing this, he might not know that his partner in crime is a black activist, though.
Yeah. I like how they said, first they said all parts of society. Then they kind of drilled down on that and said everyone that has a job or age, race, gender. Then they drilled down on that further. Like, once you say anyone could be involved, no more drilling down needed.
Yeah.
You don't need to keep going because you just go forever.
Although I guess the one group of people not involved in being gangstalkers is gangstalkies.
Fair point. Well, maybe not. Maybe you could think you're gangstalking someone. Meanwhile, you're being gangstalked.
Possibly.
This is possible, and we will get to this, but one of the main things that you do when you're being gangstalked is stalk the shit out of everyone around you. This same article had a list of the reasons that people get involved in gang stalking.
Right.
Some do it for the sense of power. Others do it as a way to make friends.
Yeah.
Wait, so they're making friends with the other stalkers or with the stalkee?
Yeah, actually later in the article it says one of the ways they'll get you is by becoming your friend.
Yeah, okay, no, that's fair.
And then the next point was, and another way they get you is by isolating you from your friends.
Yeah, right.
It's something social and fun for them to do. Many in society use the one-handed sign language to communicate, and it's very effective in breaking down race, gender, age, and social barriers.
Sorry, the one-handed
sign language?
All right. I think we should probably talk about things that gang stalkers do.
Okay.
So, gang stalking. You're being stalked by a group of people.
Yeah.
So
your neighbours,
people on the street, people driving past you, people in shops, people on public transport. But what are they actually doing? There's a whole range of things that people complain about. One of them...
What's that?
What? What?
One of the things that people do is they'll make hand signals at you.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Okay.
Or you'll see people making hand signals, and it's different stalkers signaling to each other.
Yep.
I found a whole list of decoding the signals. Like, for one thing, might be if you open your briefcase, that's indicative of that's a message. Or touching your nose, maybe if someone lifts their hat up.
Yep.
Right.
So I remember in school, and it would be like a quiet room, or even in an office, and someone would cough. And then you'd hear someone else cough. Because when you hear someone cough, you're like, oh, maybe I need to cough. Subconsciously, I think.
It's like a yawn thing.
Yeah. And then I remember sitting there thinking 3 people just coughed out of the blue across the room. What are they up to? So I feel like that could have triggered me, say if my mind was somewhat schizophrenic, which is what a lot of these people might be.
Yeah.
You could see how that would trigger it. If my, fairly well together mind goes that way.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Let's not go crazy. And let's not go crazy.
Pun intended.
You fucking stop doing that.
What? What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't like this bit.
Yeah, I don't like this bit because it's in my headphones.
All right. Let's just... some other things. Character assassination is something they do. So it's not just following people around. It's going to people's friends and family, showing them files on the person. Mobbing is one of the things, and traffic mobbing. So mobbing, just if you're out on the street, suddenly you're surrounded by people. that just seem to come out of nowhere. Or you're driving down the street, suddenly there's other cars all around your car. It's because they're boxing you in, trying to make.
It's me every afternoon.
Yeah?
Yeah, around about 4 or 5-ish.
You're heading from work and suddenly there's
Driving
people.
home from work. What the fuck's going on?
All these people.
Street theatre is one thing. It's when, not just, like mimes.
Yeah.
But like when an interaction on the street seems staged, like you might see a couple arguing about something.
So one time, I tell a story about me possibly being gangstalked.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm really tipping myself in it today. We were sitting in a car park. We didn't have anywhere to sleep. We'd hitchhiked to see a concert, a rock concert. It was actually a hip hop concert. And we're sitting in a car, just kind of like half sleeping in this dodgy car park. And then there was a market that had to set up in the morning. So we kind of woke up and there was a market sitting around. And we're just kind of watching all the people come and go from the market as it's setting up. And this guy skateboarded past and someone in the car's like, "Oh, Luke, it's your mate," because I used to skateboard. It was a sick joke.
Yeah. That's a classic though.
Yeah. And then maybe 20 minutes later, same dude comes back, no skateboard, with a guitar, just wandering through playing a guitar. The mate that said that to me was a guitar player. I'm like, "Hey, wait a minute." So that would be a way to gangstalk someone.
Yeah. When I think about street theatre, I think about all the times that I've been like out on the street with my partner and she's like held my hand or something and I've recoiled and been like, "Who the hell are you?" And anyone watching that would be like, this fits the definition of street theatre.
Right. Robbo, don't you have multiple stories about hitchhiking to places that have crazy outcomes, don't you?
Yeah, I've got more than
I
one.
think that's the second one I've heard.
I've got at least 6.
Yeah, right.
Stay tuned.
Brighting is another thing that people do.
Brighting?
That's,
Headlights.
Including flashing the headlights.
Oh, just good citizenship, really.
I flash my headlights at quite a lot of people, and I often, or today, started wondering how many people have I triggered off on the road thinking, "Oh, there's another one."
Why are you flashing your headlights at people? To let them know about speed traps or?
Either usually that they don't have their lights on or to hurry up and fucking move.
Yep.
Oh, really?
You don't go the beep?
Oh, sometimes I'll go the beep.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll just give a little flash.
Yeah.
To be fair,
I don't warn people of speed traps. If you're speeding,
I was
fucking
like,
get a ticket like everyone else.
I was like, good bloke salty, obeying the code of the road.
No, it just goes for the passag ones.
Yeah.
To be fair, like I know your general routes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be beeping people.
Yeah, no.
Do you think it's a high risk of
asking
a
for
road
trouble.
rage incident?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the videos we came across, apologies for jumping ahead slightly, was near Salty's house.
Yeah. This is why I'm worried.
My main flashes would be, if there's a speed camera, or just to make people think there's a speed camera. Like,
You don't do that, do you? You little prankster?
if I'm driving through, if say I'm driving through an area where there's like a truck curfew and there's a truck, I'll give them a little flash to let them know, but there's nothing there.
You little narc.
And they think your flash is, "Hey, fucking dickhead truck, why are you here in the truck curfew?"
No,
That's what his flash is.
No, I'm flashing them to say, "Hey, trucks keeping Australia moving, watch out. Vic Roads is back there, but there's no one there."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I'm saying the truck driver's sitting there going, "Oh, this dickhead's flashing me. I know that it's a curfew."
No, I give them a friendly flash. They can tell.
All right.
And my other main flash is when I accidentally flash people.
Okay.
And then I'm like, I wonder what they think that meant.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, when you accidentally flash people, you're still talking about your headlights? Hey.
Let's see, what else? Sensitizing or anchoring, which is, I think, what Salty's been trying to do to us.
Wait, by whistling?
Or are you just trying to think of there's noises in our head?
What do you mean?
Anyway, moving on.
There's 2 of us that noticed it.
Anchoring or sensitizing is when you get someone to associate an everyday object with harassment. So, for example, you might go up to someone holding a pen or a spoon Be like, oh, I'm going to fucking kill you. And they're like, what? You're like, nothing. They're holding a pen.
Or a spoon.
Or a spoon. Anything. But you keep having people come up to them with that object and keep on doing weird little things, just making them uneasy, threatening them, whatever. Eventually they'll associate the pen or the spoon or the banana or whatever with that. And when they see a pen, it'll
Start
put them...
salivating.
Well, it gives them a Pavlovian fear response.
Yeah.
Because they associate the item with the harassment. I read one article on a gaslighting website, on a gangstalking website. Get to gaslighting in a second. Yep. I read one article on a gangstalking website about this thing, and it was weird because the guy is like, what they're trying to do is inspire a fight or flight reaction in your body when you see everyday things, so that you'll become stressed out, and you'll see a pen and you'll get stressed out and anxious and you'll act erratically. It's like, oh, buddy, you're like 25% of the way to working out what's wrong.
Yeah.
You almost got it. You've just come at it from the wrong direction. Gaslighting is another one. I think people know what gaslighting is in this day.
Yeah,
and age.
I think gaslighting, yeah.
Both gaslighting in, the modern sense of just generally trying to make someone crazy, but also in the traditional sense of
pouring gas on someone and lighting them.
Well, just fucking with people by changing stuff. So the original meaning comes from the movie Gaslight, where the husband tried to make his wife think she was crazy by turning the gas down on the lamps. So she'd think it was getting darker. She's like, is it getting darker? He's like, nah, it's fine. It's always been like this. Until eventually she's like, oh, I must be going crazy. Better tell someone who's not crazy where all my jewels are. He's like, fantastic. This worked exactly as I'd planned.
Are you spoiling the movie Gaslight for us?
Yeah, I did. You've had 60 years to watch it.
I was going to watch it this weekend.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. No.
But stuff like that, or going in, moving furniture around, just moving bits and bobs around. So you're like, oh, I thought I put that down there, but I must have put it down here. But maybe I really remember putting it down here. So I'm losing memory.
Or I'm having deja vu.
I had an editor, we were working on a story. This was yesterday. Really freaked me out. And he goes, oh, yeah, it's all looking good. Can you tell me about because I had like 3 or 4 different headline suggestions. He's like, can you tell me about this one? And I looked, I'm like, I didn't write that. And he's like, what? I'm like, I didn't write that. And he's like, no one else has edited this. I'm like, no, definitely didn't write it. He's like, well, I didn't. And we had this like back and forth on who actually wrote it. Turns out he did.
Yeah.
He was wrong. Right. Man, that stressed me out.
But I mean, in modern office life, in the age of the email,
yes,
how many things every day would happen like that?
Yeah. Would it?
Yeah. Shush. And then we get the things like chucking a microchip in you.
Yeah.
Implanting thoughts in your head.
Yep.
And zapping you with directed energy weapons. That's sort of at the higher end of the scale. So we briefly touched on it, but I guess the other thing about this is that all of these people have schizophrenia.
Yes.
That's mainly.
And that's what made you start off looking at these like, oh, look at these people, they're idiots. And then like, oh, there are some real, real problems here.
Yeah.
And I think some of them are, obviously, but then some of them it's like, are they? Like the guy we watched, there was a video of a guy who was like saying that the government was using a laser beam to play with his dick. Right? There's clearly something wrong with that guy. And he and I don't know if you watch many of his videos. I watched a few of them.
I think I watched too.
He would also always point out whistlers. That's why I was whistling before. Right. He'd be like, oh, here I am. Here's like 10 minutes of filming my leg hair because I think they might be moving it with a laser beam.
Yeah.
Doesn't ever move.
Yeah.
And also that a whistler goes by. So he always talks about people go by his house and stuff whistling.
Okay.
Or he'll be at the bus stop and someone will go by whistling. There's one video where he's at the bus stop and there's some guy who's clearly just off his nut on something with headphones on, dancing at the bus stop, like having a little drive, and he's sitting behind him waiting for the bus. And he's just filming this guy going, yep, there's another one there. watching me. It's just clearly this guy out of his brain, like dancing to some fucking whatever he's dancing to. The bus comes, they all get on the bus. That's the end of the video.
So the guy, I think we need to elaborate slightly more on the playing with the dick government bit. So this guy, he was convinced the government was using satellites to track him and then manipulate his body.
Yeah.
And one of the things was getting him off, playing with his penis using a satellite
hologram
3D type thing.
Yeah. And he said anything they can do in a video game, they can do in real life.
To your dick.
To your dick.
Yeah. So there's a whole video of him filming his crotch. You don't actually see his dick.
Movement.
Yeah. And he's just like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah. He gets quite graphic about it.
And that was the first one I watched of his. I think because I clicked on the title, whatever it was. But then I was like, wait, is this a fetish thing where he's got like 100 of these videos and it's all the same?
Yeah.
But no, that was the only one. The rest were other stuff.
Yeah. So you can watch that guy and go, okay, this guy clearly has mental health issues. Something wrong with it. There's a filmmaker in Australia who's made a couple of films about environmental issues, who is also convinced that he's a full-time victim of surveillance and gangstalking. And the things he writes about in his blog about what are happening to him reads like cooked gangstalking
right.
stories about how everywhere he goes, there's people there. Everywhere he goes, there's people standing around watching him. Everywhere he goes, there's cars. All the stuff that we talked about just before happening to this guy. But this guy has made waves with big businesses and corporations and mining giants and all this kind of stuff. So it's like, I could imagine he would be a person of interest to those people, but would they be actually undertaking such intense surveillance of this independent filmmaker?
Yes.
So that he basically said for the last, I think in 2016, he wrote a blog saying it had been 3 years. So now 5 years, everywhere he goes, he's just completely being followed. It's like,
I mean, that doesn't seem believable, but I could see, like, if you're pissing off like big oil companies and stuff, I could see you being put under some level of surveillance, like private investigators, that sort of thing, something to discredit you.
And maybe for a short while after whatever the issue is has happened. But this seems to be an ongoing thing in his life.
Well, like big oil, for example, they'd be pretty pissed off. They probably don't really want to murder him because it would look pretty sus. So the whole gangstalking and gaslighting someone to drive them slowly insane, I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them, but they'd have to find people willing to do it. But there's people willing to do anything.
Well, we've heard this, everyone.
Yeah, no, fair point.
Everyone can do it.
Yeah, especially if you're like looking to make friends in a new town.
Yeah.
No, but I could see someone being put under real surveillance, and if that made them paranoid, and then that paranoia grew, I could see them seeing people everywhere, even if the actual genesis of it was true.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's basically success, right?
Yeah.
The initial surveillance has made them get to a point where they're so paranoid that they think this is happening all the time, and they're going to change their lives and change their routine. And
that might not be the intent of the initial surveillance either. Like it might just be to watch them, but then it's
and that could be down to like, so this guy is like seems pretty together and makes these great environmental documentaries. Doesn't seem like a crazy man, but something might have happened that has sort of made that fight or flight thing trigger off.
Yeah.
Probably all the bloody dope he's smoking.
Yeah, great, because he's clearly a hippie.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of the people that talk about this are clearly schizophrenic because they're displaying all of the symptoms of it. But at the base of it, it's caused by being in a sort of constant fight or flight mode. So whatever does that in your brain is got a bit skew and you're constantly in that mode. And so you look around you to see what's causing you to be like that. And because there's no actual danger causing it, you ascribe the danger to ordinary things. And so then it's like, oh, the government's moved my alarm clock.
Everyone with their car door open when I drive past just got in their car so they can start following me.
Yeah. Which is why that guy was so close to getting it. It's like you've almost worked it out. You're Your problem is the fight or flight thing. It's just not. No one's trying to put you into that. You were already in it.
Yeah.
24/7.
So the guy near your house, Salty.
Yes. To cut back to the obviously completely cooked side of things.
Yeah. So there was a guy near your house. Well, he was driving around your suburb or in the same area, filming people.
Yeah.
This is the Stop Gangstalking Australia channel.
Yeah. And he was a good example of, I think you touched on it before, of like they exhibit behavior where they're stalking people.
Yeah.
So he was driving around filming people, listening to No Doubt.
Yeah.
Wasn't clear if it was a radio or a CD or an MP3. Probably CD.
Yeah.
Or a tape. And then like he'd zoom in on people when he was going past them.
Yeah.
Right in.
Yeah.
And
But it
then-
wasn't
Big crash zoom.
crash zoom. It wasn't just the zooming in.
It was the slowing down.
These are the creepiest fucking videos. Because, like, all right, No Doubt.
Yeah.
That's great. Take this pink ribbon off my eyes. I'm exposed, and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold your hand. 'Cause I'm just a girl, little old me. Well, don't let me out of your sight. I'm just a girl, pretty and petite. So don't let me have any rights. Whoa, I've had it up to here. Now that, if you heard that on the radio, which by the way, listen to those lyrics.
Yeah.
That's about gang stalking, right?
Is it? Marvelous stuff, by the way, guys. Oh,
Don't let me out of your sight. I don't have any rights.
no, that's fair. I think it's probably more about being a girl in modern society.
Yeah.
Sure. That's what they want you to think.
Yeah.
If you heard that, if you heard what Stalking and I just did on the radio, you're like, oh, that's beautiful.
Banger. This video's got banger music in it.
Harmonizing.
Yeah.
I would have thought.
No, because when he does his crash zooms, he'd slow the video down, and it's not like he was slowing it down where it's like, I'm exposed and
You can say slow down but change the pitch.
Vaporwave styles.
Yeah, it doesn't do that. It just goes.
clearly wasn't listening to it on a portable USB floppy disk.
No.
It slows down, crash zooms, and just fucking goes psycho sounding.
It's like he's done some sort of digital slowdown process where it's
super, like it's taken the bits.
Yeah.
Every bit of music. It's just like.
Sounds like if you.
I'm just a girl.
If you're listening to a CD or an MP3, sorry, like last decade, and your computer slowed down.
Yeah.
And got a blue screen.
Yeah.
That sound.
Yeah. What I just did.
Yeah, just like
yeah. Bung! That's the blue screen noise.
All right. Man, this is like a Michael Winslow podcast. But he was also, it wasn't clear, like, there's one example where he zoomed in on a guy with a red t-shirt on, leaning out the window of his car. Yeah. And like he zooms in like it's important. You're like, well, that's going to come up later on. I bet he's going to see this guy again, but he doesn't.
No.
Oh, later on in the video, I don't know if you guys watched, it was a long fucking video. I don't know if you watched it.
I skipped through, no.
I watched.
Later on, he does do some picture-in-picture split screen stuff.
Ah.
And he has like a picture of one car from earlier and then another car driving past. Fucking newsflash, dickhead. It's not the same car. It's a completely different model of car. They're just white and look a little bit sporty. Clearly different cars. The whole front end of them is different. But he's like, as they go past him. He does that a couple of times. It's like, mate, they're not the same people.
There's one point where he crash zooms in on someone who's got their window open with like their arm hanging out of the ute. I'm like, oh, the guy's gonna at least like look at him.
Yeah.
No, he's not interested. But weirdly, at one point, he stopped at traffic lights filming random people, and he waits too long once they turn green, and it wasn't Salty behind him, I can tell you this, even though it was right next to Salty's house.
Yeah. Because he gets bipped.
He gets beeped. But no interest in whoever beeped him. He's like, fair enough.
Yep.
Whoops,
I'm in the
it
wrong.
was green. Sorry, fella. Let me just drive off around this corner holding my camera and my cigarette at the same time.
Bit stalkery out here today, isn't it, mate? Sorry.
Yeah.
If the Stop Gangstalking Australia YouTube guy is listening, because this is an Australian podcast about gangstalking, I can see how he might have an interest. Do stop listening now, because you don't want to hear the next bit. I stalked this guy a little bit and found his Facebook page. And it was really weird.
Oh, really?
Yes. You know how Facebook will do algorithm videos every now and then? So there'll be like Friends Day, where they show you like pictures of all your friends and like how many times your friends have liked your post. They're like, Happy Friends Day. The other day they did one about the sense of community that Facebook helps foster. I don't know why Facebook feels it needs to get on the front foot PR-wise, but apparently they did. And they put this video on everyone's pages. I think if you look up like Facebook community video in the little Facebook search bar, you can find your own. And they take a bunch of your photos and just put them up. They show you how many groups you're in. And the other thing they do is weirdly intercut it with footage of people from various communities. So there's like some kids in South America kicking a soccer ball around, some kids in Africa dancing, all that sort of thing. You know, happy, smiling people, like, and then just a bunch of photos of you. But because this guy, all of his photos are of random people in the street that he thinks were stalking him, here's a video which he did post. It's like this happy soccer jumping African video with just random people at the supermarket, servos. It's like, Facebook brings a sense of community.
Well, that coming back to the original document, it does find your friends and community.
I guess the thing is, a lot of this gets wrapped into a lot of pre-existing conspiracy theories, a lot of Illuminati stuff, because, I mean, as you noted, one of the reasons ordinary people think that they might come in for this is because they're just being practiced on, but that doesn't always occur to everyone, so they have to come up with another reason. Some of the reasons are if they have a specific bloodline or if they have certain genetics, so, you know, if there's some sort of a shadow war going on between, you know, different bloodlines, you might not even realize that you're a player in that war. You get taken into it. But there's also certain genetics apparently have markers for things that the shadow government does not like. So someone might be genetically predisposed to being altruistic or an activist. So they try and shut those people down before they can do anything.
Good. No, just kidding.
Some of them, it's sort of similar to the practice thing, but just random, so that people who it's actually happening to can't say, oh, this is because I'm a whistleblower or I'm an activist or whatever. It's like, well, why would it happen to all these ordinary people? Well, you've just been tricked. Some people have the wrong sort of soul. So the shadow government can map souls, and it's similar to the bloodlines where they can see that you're predisposed to being an activist. They can see your soul is predisposed to that.
I would hate to be told by someone that I had the wrong soul. My soul was wrong. You know how like there's that kind of hippie trope of like, oh, I can see you've got a kind soul. Imagine if like you're at a fucking bonfire party, you're getting wasted on the beach or something like that.
Yeah.
Some weird hippie comes up to you and goes,
oh, your soul's not right.
You've got the wrong soul. What?
What a downer.
What a ruined my night. Jeez.
Yeah, but if some agent of the shadow government came up to you and said, oh, your soul's all wrong.
I'd be like, yeah, good.
Oh, yeah, good.
This soul's for tearing down your bloody New World Order.
But then you'd start getting gangstalked.
Oh, no, fair point.
If you get on too many lists, which can be political dissident lists, activist lists, or unfortunately artificial intelligence lists.
So
if the big computer decides you're a problem.
Skynet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, sometimes all it takes is just pissing off the wrong shadow government person. So
you cut someone off in traffic and they're on the way to their shadow government job.
Well, it's like, it's like a parking inspector with quotas.
Yeah.
It's like if you've...
How many people have you signed up for gangstalking today? Oh, good, another one, honestly, Mr. Jones.
Well, if you're a parking inspector, aren't you more likely to give the ticket out to the guy who's like, oh, fuck you, than to the guy who's just like, oh, sorry.
The guy in the Lamborghini versus the guy in the broke down bloody Citroen or whatever.
It's the same for the shadow government.
You've got one more person to make your quota for the day. You're driving along, someone comes up behind you, beep.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, well, that's it. Tick. Done.
And then someone flashes your light. Nah, that guy.
Yeah.
Light flasher.
Light flasher. Light flasher over beeper?
Yeah, definitely.
No.
Light flasher could be...
You're saying it's salty.
Light flasher could be warning you of a speed camera. Not if it's me.
Yeah.
But
if I'm in the shadow government and someone beeps at me to tell me off, and then I'm at the next intersection, I'm still being, a dickhead, so someone has to flash me, and I've only got one person to add, I'm adding the beeper, and I'm going to be saying, well, as long as I've recorded down the flash's details, maybe they're interested in being signed up.
You're one up on tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. No, fair point.
I've got someone here who I know is good at flashing.
Yeah. Just going to say in my defense, I know that giving a little flash of your lights to all about speed cameras is a pretty bloody Australian thing to do.
I think it's universal.
And not to want to be un-Australian, when I'm driving down country roads and freeways...
You can't help but yelling, fuck the Anzacs.
Everyone I pass on the road, I raise my finger.
Yeah.
Give them the little finger wave off the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Everyone. I don't discriminate. If you're driving past me on a country road, you're on the same journey I am, or you're returning from the same journey I'm on.
Yep.
I know you've probably been on the road a long time. I know just a little bit of interaction would be just what you need.
I'm loving...
He's raising his finger.
I realise this is lost on the podcast medium, but...
The little finger wave. The one finger wave. I am loving the fact that you're insecure now about your Australianism.
I'm not. I'm saying.
You have to tell us that, hey...
I just don't want anyone else to think I'm un-Australian.
I don't do the flick thing, but I do the finger wave, which is probably on par.
Yeah. Salty, I do the finger wave too.
Yeah.
To everyone.
I'm just...
Even on city roads, I'm just constantly fingering people.
I'm comfortable in the fact that at this table, there is someone here that will always be less Australian than I am.
Oh, that's a bit stink. Hang on, I don't really care about that.
I guess the one other thing is, though, so when you're flashing people, you're triggering off anyone who thinks they're being gang-stalked. But one of the other things that gang-stalk victims complain about is people making hand gestures around them.
Yeah. Shit.
Jeez.
So...
You're gangstalking ground zero.
And you know what? Because I do it to every single person I pass, the odds are I've done it to someone who's being gangstalked or thinks they're being gangstalked.
Should we talk about directed energy weapons?
Okay, yeah.
So that's the sort of on the weirder end is energy weapons and implanting thoughts, which is, I think, very interlinked because I think the thoughts are being implanted with energy weapons a lot of the time. Microwaves especially. It's the medium of choice.
Wait, as in your home microwave or just microwave waves?
The waves.
Yeah.
Did you find much about directed energy weapons?
Oh, I found people that were pretty convinced they could stop them. One lady who I think you came across as well, who's a scientist with CERN.
Or was a scientist.
Was a scientist with CERN. I didn't end up watching her video because she started by saying this is a short video. And it went for 30 minutes. I was like, that's a third of a movie.
Yeah, that's Dr. Catherine Horton.
Yeah.
Of Stop 007. That's her organisation's name.
Right. And she does all of her stuff inside a tinfoil lined room.
Yeah, she's inside a Faraday cage, and I think she also wears some tinfoil.
She's really gone for it. I saw another lady who she was another ex-scientist, and she used to wear lead or a lead blanket to sleep under, and she'd have like a lead balaclava. Yeah, right. And she was like, she said she travels through the airport so much that they know her when she goes through, like because obviously it picks up on X-rays. They're like, oh, here's that lead lady again. Which, it's weird that this person's traveling so much if you think you're targeted and you're getting gang-stalked and you're being directed. Like, I feel like a plane is the last place you want to be.
Yeah.
And also
an energy weapon would take down a plane easy.
And also you're going through like so many checks.
Yeah.
Like your
X-rays.
passports, X-rays, all these things. So yeah. And she was moving around. She was sleeping in a storage locker for a while.
Right.
But she said they found her there. And so she had to move.
Yeah, the storage locker people found you.
Yeah.
You can't live in a storage locker.
There was, that were the two most interesting ones.
See, I thought energy weapons, when we were going to look at this, we were talking about laser cannons and stuff. So that's what I did a bit of looking into.
Well, so the big one is Judy Wood with the laser cannons.
Judy Wood?
So she's the one that came up in the 9/11 one.
Oh, that turns everything into dust?
Yeah.
All right.
Do you want to go into her quickly?
Yeah.
I watched a little bit about her. So she, for people that don't know, she is convinced that 9/11 did happen, but it was energy weapons that took down the three buildings, and by a process called dustification, which is a word she made up. She said you have to make up words because if you give it an existing name, it changes the meaning somehow. I don't know, whatever. She doesn't know how or why it happened.
Yeah.
She said she has no theory on why this. She's a doctor, so she should have theories.
Yeah.
She's just like, but we can see that it definitely happened because the building just turned to dust.
Yeah.
And she has sort of two main points.
Incorrect.
One point is there was no seismic activity recorded on the day. Incorrect. There was 4 distinct seismic registers on the Richter scale. The biggest being 2.3.
World Trade Center Tower number 1, World Trade Center Tower number 2. Where'd the other two come from?
The 2 planes flying into World Trade Center number 1 and World Trade Center number 2.
All right.
So the plane...
building number 7 didn't register on the old Richter scale?
It wasn't in the story that I read.
Sorry for robbing you up.
Yeah. So that was her first point, which is pretty easily disputed.
Yeah.
The second one...
By basic fucking physics.
Yeah. The second one was that there was no rubble recorded. Where did all the rubble go? There's so much... she's kind of right. There's 2 giant buildings, 3 giant buildings, plus all the stuff around them. Where did all that rubble go? Because there was no rubble.
It's famously a lot of rubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I actually did look that up. There's 1.8 million tons of rubble.
Yeah.
About the size of...
Probably how much those 2 buildings were.
Yeah, give or take. I think she's also got video where she talks about like the kind of Roadrunner cartoon style.
Right.
Where she's like, the pillar's there, now it's not there and it's still just hanging.
Yeah, it's because the pillar weighs a ton and dust weighs nothing.
Yeah.
So the pillar falls and the dust where it was is still hanging in the air.
But she's like, oh, it's the Roadrunner effect. It's like, yeah, that's what happened to
That's what happened to the road. Yeah. He doesn't turn into dust. He just falls out of the frame. The Roadrunner doesn't disintegrate on the spot. It takes off so fast that all you can see is a little outline around the cloud where it was.
That coyote is holding like an Acme anvil.
Yeah.
It's going to drop.
Yeah. She needs to watch more Roadrunner.
Yeah. Before using it as her proof, she needs to understand how the physics in the cartoon works.
She's got, does a lot of media. I think this is she makes a living out of doing this, making little books and things about dustification and energy weapons. But she hasn't progressed past, as I say, she's got no theory for how. They did it from satellites. When people say, so how do they do it? She's like, I don't know.
The satellites are all tied up jerking that guy off.
They're otherwise occupied.
Yeah.
So she's pretty crazy. I watched another one that was energy weapons in Alyssa Lamb. Remember the lady in the water tank? But I watched the whole video and it didn't mention her once.
Right.
I guess the theory was that... I didn't watch the whole thing. I skipped through.
I guess the theory was they were trying to get people to watch their video by putting her in the title and then not mentioning it.
Yeah, and it was part 1. It went for an hour 40 and I skipped through it. There was no part 2.
I don't think he did skip through it. I think he watched the whole thing.
No, I would have liked to.
How do you know they didn't mention her in one of the bits you skipped?
Because it was...
Because they didn't skip.
Well, either way, she wasn't in it enough, based on what I saw skipping, that warranted putting her name in the title.
Right. Robbo's like, on the podcast, he says, oh, I looked at it, it said it was a short video, but it was like an hour 40, so I didn't watch it. But in reality, he's like, yes.
Something to fill my...
Rubbing his hands together.
Whatever.
Do you see the news that Chinese have apparently developed a laser gun?
Yeah, right.
They can shoot really far and instantly set people's clothes on fire and burn holes in them and stuff.
Jeebus.
It's insane. That's the kind of energy weapons I want.
Well, so there are energy weapons, like laser things exist.
Yeah.
That, or you can shoot microwaves at people.
Yeah. And like make them feel like real uncomfortable and like their skin's hot and stuff.
Mm.
They do that for riot dispersal, right?
Yeah. Or you can use it to kill someone.
Yeah. There was a couple of guys, I think they're from Finland or something, and they made their own microwave gun from 3 microwaves in like a metal tube.
Mm.
And I didn't see that video, but I watched someone trying to recreate it. And he was like, it's not possible. I don't see how this would work. Yeah. And he still managed to turn a light on that was unplugged. It was just sort of sitting in front of the little tube, turn on the little microwaves, managed to turn a light bulb on using it.
Yep.
He reckons these Finnish guys probably did a bit of video editing to make theirs look like it was blowing things up.
Yeah.
But, someone can do it in their backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, the idea with when it comes into gangstalking is that they're shooting you with laser beams into your brain through your wall. No one else around you can feel it, but they're hitting you with something.
Mm.
That's what this Dr. Horton talks about a lot, is the reason why she has to be in a Faraday cage all the time is otherwise the government will just slam her with things so that she can't sue them for spying on her.
Yeah, right.
The thing is, a lot of what they talk about with that stuff, and the other thing they use the energy weapons for is to implant thoughts in your head using microwaves or to make you hear things. So you think that someone said something, but no one else has heard it.
Yeah.
The sort of weird thing is that a lot of that's based on real technology.
Yeah.
So they call it voice to skull.
VTS for short.
Which is also what the US Army called it on the webpage they had for this. Which they took down about 10 years ago.
Right. Once they realised all their voice to skull gear was online.
Another term for it is synthetic telepathy. That's the official sort of scientific term for what they're trying to do, which is to be able to transmit a message without it going over sound waves.
Yeah.
So one way that people try to do that is with microwaves, because you can actually transmit sound with microwaves. It's called the Fray effect, which is actually just when you can hear clicks.
Right.
When you're being hit with like a pulsed microwave.
Mm.
So this Dr. Alan Frey discovered it because he had a bunch of people working with microwaves. They're like, what's that fucking clicking noise? And eventually, after probably gaslighting them quite a bit, he was like, oh, it's the bloody microwaves, isn't it? So then the expansion on that is, all right, if you can send clicks, so you could send a message with clicks, like a Morse code.
Yeah.
But the idea is to be able to, can you send words?
Yeah.
And after they did some experimentation, they discovered that you could.
Wow.
I think they managed to send about 9 words in one experiment.
Yeah.
The only problem is if you try and send anything really much more advanced than that, you'll set the person on fire, which is generally not what you want to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's deadly to do.
Right. More than 9 words, not ideal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like ultimate Twitter. You need to keep it just really succinct.
Yeah. So this is stuff that they sort of worked out in the 70s.
Yeah. Right.
But I mean, even in like the early 2000s, there was a US Navy contract for something called mob excess deterrent using silent audio. A company called Waveband was working on using this as like a crowd control thing, like Salty was talking about, to just hit everyone with a bunch of microwaves.
Right.
People also talk about you could use it to like, I guess, in The Hobbit, when they come across the trolls, it uses a bit of ventriloquism to trick them.
Oh, he throws his voice?
Yeah. the idea is that you could sort of use it to disperse a riot by just hitting different parts of the riot with different messages. So someone hears, "Oh, let's all go left," and they run off, and everyone else is like, "Where's that guy gone? What's he doing that for?"
Right.
We're packing up and going home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then.
Oh, what the hell? We love cops now.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we love cops.
But yeah, V2K. I don't know why voice to skull. They skipped the S, but that's what the army called it.
Okay.
V2.
V2K. Voice to skull.
Wait. Yeah. Okay. That's very confusing.
Maybe it was originally voice to cranium, and someone did a sick logo and they spelled cranium with a K.
Yeah.
Because they were like, "This is going to look sick."
Did you say it was the 90s?
Yeah, this was
So the K would have been backwards. It would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Oh.
This was late 2000s, but anyway.
Okay.
The thing about gangstalking is that it's very much an internet phenomenon. I remember seeing this stuff come up like ages ago, like 10 years ago. And it's one of those things where you probably a lot of the delusions that people are having are very common schizophrenic symptoms. The fact that you can go online and find someone who confirms that what you're experiencing is real,
yes,
probably doesn't help at all. And one of the things that doesn't help is when you look up voice to skull, Google is like, its definition comes from like gangstalking.com instead of from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I mean, they're using brainwaves to control video games now. Like, the technology around brainwaves and manipulating them and then using them to manipulate the environment is interesting.
When I was looking up gangstalking, I found one Reddit post that someone had posted on the Dark Souls subreddit, which is like a hack and slash game that's very difficult.
Famously difficult video game.
Oh, I fucking ditched it. I didn't even get past the first guy I had to fight, and I just got so fed up with it. I went and traded it in. When I took it into EB Games to trade it in, I had a whole bunch of games.
Owned by a nerd.
He goes, he didn't own me. Fuck off. I gave him my stack of games I was trading in. He goes, this one. He goes, "Oh yeah, Dark Souls 3. Finished today." I was just like, nah, just fucking stopped. And he was like, "Oh yeah, fair enough."
Yeah,
I didn't feel his judgment. But.
This post was like, it was all about how all of the themes of, what happens to gang stalking victims are present in Dark Souls 3. It was this huge, long thing. I just had one reply with a guy going, "Huh?"
And then me going, "Fuck this game."
I found another YouTube video from a guy that describes himself, H. Michael Sweeney. He says he's considered by many to be an expert in abuse, power, and New World Order issues. And he's talking all about political control technology. One of the things he talks about is a sniper RFID, so a gun that shoots a little RFID tag into your neck, or maybe into your ear, who knows. And then he says it controls you by the internet.
It's not how RFID works.
It's not how any of that works. This guy, but he's an expert, considered by many to be an expert, written multiple books. They're using the internet.
The other sort of thing that makes this tricky is a lot of the things that they claim about the directed energy weapons are sort of based on real things. Unfortunately, a lot of the other stuff they claim is sort of based on real things too. Yeah. Especially the stuff that sounds like it shouldn't be.
Right.
The gangstalking stuff.
The gangstalking stuff. So, for example, in the States, there was the COINTELPRO program that the FBI ran against activists that was exposed by people breaking into an FBI office and stealing 1,000 files. And they found that there was this wide-ranging program to discredit activists or to get involved in their lives and push them away from being involved in things. I think it's interesting when you read about it. It mentions how one of the targets was the KKK. And it's like, was that added to Wikipedia by someone over at the FBI? It's like, all right, we did one KKK guy and we did 1,000 communists. But so they did things like to Martin Luther King Jr. They had a tape of him, I think playing away, as they say, cutting someone else's grass.
Oh,
it was.
I think we can just say having an affair.
Having an affair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was being a little bit naughty.
Okay.
And they had audio of it because, of course, they're bugging him. And they send him, I don't know if it was the tape or the transcript. They also sent him a letter saying, kill yourself, which he didn't do, obviously. But that was like one of the things that they did. But a more sort of pertinent example, but similar, was the Stasi had a program called Zersetzung, which was basically gangstalking.
Right.
There were 10,000 victims of it. It came out in the wash. About 5,000 of them had sustained irreversible damage from it, which I think was either psychological damage or they'd been driven to harm themselves or sustained irreversible damage to their reputation or whatever it was. Because I think when all of that fell apart, I think when that 5,000 of people that could make some sort of financial claim,
right,
based on how bad what happened to them was. But this was a policy of the Stasi. So in East Germany, they had a bit of a problem, which is that they were dicks. And there were a lot of people that thought that. You can't kill everyone who thinks you're a dick in East Germany, or you'd just be all day.
He's killing the whole time.
Yeah, you'd be going through Clorox like there was no tomorrow. Like constantly cleaning your kill room.
Yeah.
And also it's a bad look if you're trying to go out to the world and saying, oh, it's the Soviet Union, we're the best.
Yeah.
We're the best one. Not like you guys are always killing people. So they did kill a lot of people.
Yeah.
But there was a few people that were like, oh, well, we can't kill this guy. But what if we just fucked with his head until he killed himself? That could get the job done.
Yes.
So they would do like a lot of the stuff they talk about here. Every person who was targeted, so of these 10,000 people who were targeted, I think they all had 4 people assigned to them to fuck with their lives, doing things like going into their house, moving their furniture, changing their alarm clock time.
Would be annoying.
Yeah.
Putting pepper in their salt shakers was one thing.
Oh, no, that's more annoying.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to put pepper in anyway.
Yeah. Someone's made a little blend. Thank you.
Property damage, messing with their cars, giving them incorrect medical treatment. That's slightly higher than the pepper thing.
Yeah.
They'd send people to like seduce their partners to cause their relationships to break down. Or, one day, package in the mail. This is before Australia Post budget cuts where you just get the little card no matter what. Oh, what's this package? A little vibrator's been sent to you. A little sex toy to me missus. Did you order this? No, I didn't order it. Well, I didn't order it.
On an Xbox remote.
What the frick?
So lots of little things like that. Following people around, making them know that they're being watched or making them think they're being watched all the time. So it's something that was actually done. So today when someone says, oh, this is happening to me, it's like, well, you can't 100% say that it's not.
Unless you're that guy driving around my suburb, randomly zooming up on people driving their cars.
So part of the reason that we actually looked at this in the first place was I came across a little while ago Susie Dawson, who is the head of the New Zealand Internet Party, which was Kim.com's political party. She took over after he left. And she's actually in exile in Russia from New Zealand because she was being gangstalked by the New Zealand government.
Just to be clear, self-imposed exile.
Yeah, self-imposed
exile.
Things seem to... I don't think she's being gangstalked now she's in Russia, where as the leader of a foreign political party, she's almost certainly being watched. Yeah, so she was involved in like the Occupy movement in New Zealand. From what I know of New Zealand far left politics, which I know more than you might expect, she wasn't really anybody. So it's sort of weird that she would get gang stalked by the government. But she's posted this big dossier about all the things that happened to her. Stuff that included like her day begins at 3 a.m. with cars driving past her house. It's like, why would anyone be driving the streets at that time?
Going to work.
Get
Home from work.
Going to the job as a baker.
Well, when she goes out to work at the same time as she's leaving, her neighbours are leaving, you know.
Oh, that's spooky.
Yeah.
There's cars all around her on the road as she's driving to and from work, etc.
That happens to me, as we established earlier.
But also stuff like there'd be little holes in the roof of her house, or like clothes would be torn mysteriously. Right. Although at one point she does say that she had like brand new socks and they were replaced with like old men's socks. It's like, oh, that could be a shared clothing line mishap. That could be like
someone left those old men's socks in the dryer at the laundromat.
Yeah, there's a lot of explanations for that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of explanations for everything she talked about. The weird thing was, though, it's like, okay, there's clearly an issue here. But people like Caitlin Johnston, who's this Australian journalist I think we've mentioned before, she's one of the people who's very into knocking the white hats in Syria. But she posted like an interview with this person, taking it 100% seriously. I was like, that's weird, because on the face of it, this is not right. At least throw in the Stasi thing if you're going to treat this seriously.
Anything else on gangstalking and energy weapons?
I don't think so.
I'm sure these things will come back up in the future.
Yeah, I think they might. The thing about gangstalking is it is going to come up, because the main thing that happens because of it is YouTube videos.
Yeah.
A lot of YouTube videos of people documenting people watching them or driving past them. I guess the next most dangerous thing that happens because of it is random people on the street get approached by someone accusing them of stalking them.
Yeah.
Who knows how many people are walking past a gangstalking person, a gang-stalked person, and coming away thinking, am I being fucking stalked?
Yeah.
Well, when we started talking about this, my friend Danny has a story of when he first come to Melbourne, where he was on the tram and with his phone. But he was sitting there looking at messages on his phone. Someone across from him on the tram just starts going, "Stop filming me. Stop filming me. Stop it." And Danny's like, "I'm not filming you, man. Look." And he showed him and he saw it. And the guy pulled out this busted old Nokia, like Nokia 3310 or whatever, and just starts going, "How do you like it? How do you like it?" It's like, dude, that phone never had a camera. But yeah, I wonder if that guy thought Danny was gangstalking him.
Maybe. Just before I finished what I was saying about...
Sorry, I interrupted.
I did see one way to get back at your gangstalkers.
Yeah.
Is, so obviously one way they get you is by fucking with your head until you act out.
Yeah.
And then they say, all right, this guy is crazy. Everyone saw him do that.
Yeah.
So it all comes to a head with that. One way you can get them, though, is because they're always reading all your text messages. Just text yourself. Because they can't do you, like, if you texted them, like, "Oh, I know you're watching me, I'm going to get you," they'd be like, all right, that's harassment using a carriage service. Yeah. You text yourself, there's no law against texting yourself. So you just text yourself, you're like, "Oh, this fucking dickhead's watching me again. Right. What an asshole. Hate him. He's stupid."
They'll see that because
they'll see it because they're watching it. But the other thing to do is take your good phone, get a busted old phone like this guy's phone.
Yeah.
And he was like, just text the other phone, like, big files. He's like, "I use a 300 kilobyte file."
Whoa.
And you just text it the phone, but you text it like 20 times and it fills up the phone.
What's going on?
What does that do?
No, but it's filling up your busted old phone, but it's also filling up their phone because they're intercepting all your messages.
What
They're
if
like,
they've got a 128 gig card in their
just
phone?
got to keep sending it.
Yeah, right.
But the reason we probably will see more of this is because, yes, there's YouTube videos and then there's people being confused on public transport.
Yeah.
But then there have also been a few high-profile mass shootings by people who thought they were being gang-stalked. There's an article exploring the connection between gang-stalking, targeted individuals, and mass murder by Christine Sartisti in Violence and Gender, the Journal. And she looked at Gavin Eugene Long, who in July 2016 shot and killed 3 cops. There was Aaron Alexis, who killed 12 people at the Washington Navy Yard. Myron May, who wounded 3 people at Florida State University in 2014. And Jiva Lee Wong, who killed 13 people in 2010. They all thought they were being gangstalked.
Jeebus.
So yeah, I don't think those are the only 4 mass shootings we'll ever see. So I'm sure it will come up again.
Yeah. Now, where do people find us on the internet?
They can find us at redbubble.com. If you look up Hypothetical Institute, you can buy some of our merch. While this fucking Judy Wood's making bank off these 9/11 idiots. Buy a mug.
Don't be a mug, buy a mug.
Yeah. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Spotify and Stitcher, iTunes, all those places. iTunes, you can even leave us a sneaky little review.
And on Facebook, you can leave us a review.
Yeah. And you can find us on Twitter for some of those sick memes at Hypothepod.
You can get me at Ale of a Time and aleofatime.com for beer thangs.
You can get me at Saltmarsh on Twitter, Andrew Saltmarsh Illustration on Facebook, and check out Toehider on Patreon.
And you can find me on Twitter at Sextonheimer and Gather Around Me on Facebook and iTunes, my other podcast.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
Don't worry about a thing, except if all our world leaders are alien reptilians. I said don't worry about a thing, except maybe the fluoride in our water supply contains mind-altering drugs. Don't worry about a thing, except whether or not Port Arthur was a false flag operation in which to disarm Australia. I said don't worry about a thing. I accept you can definitely hear John Lennon say I buried Paul at the end of Strawberry Fields Forever. Ooh, don't worry about a thing, except not only did Bush do 9/11, but he also keeps the planes out in Area 51, which, let's not forget where all of the aliens are. Don't worry about a thing, except Donald Trump is clearly a